distinguished guests, Honourable Schembri, ladies and gentlemen, good morning. I would like to start by thanking KPMG, Russell and Dallas for once again inviting the MGA to this annual summit, which has surely become a fixed appointment in the iGaming calendar. This summit, coupled with all the events taking place during the Sigma Expo, make this week an extremely interesting one for this industry. This is probably one of the last keynote addresses I will be giving this year before such a large representation of the gaming industry. And for this reason, I would like to take the opportunity to look back at what 2018 has meant for the MGA. To start off, we witnessed the coming into force of the anticipated gaming regulatory overhaul, following years of strategic planning, preparation, and constant communication with the industry, including players, stakeholders, and interested parties. The overhaul gave us the impetus we needed to shift towards a more risk-based approach to regulation. By directing our focus to where and what matters most, we are now in a better position to be able to effectively regulate the industry in accordance with our regulatory objectives, as we strive to maintain a consistent and well-regulated environment for all operators. 2018 will also be remembered for the fourth Anti-Money Laundering Directive and the General Data Protection Regulation, two legal instruments which have reshaped the manner in which the industry operates, as well as the manner in which we regulate. It's been an uphill battle for all involved, but the introduction of these two important pieces of legislation continue to highlight one important fact, that the adoption of a compliance culture within an organization is now more important than ever. This said, this focus should not stop us from being innovative and from making sure to continue looking at technological innovation in the way we conduct our business. And this leads me to another 2018 milestone, the year that Malta became known as the blockchain island. Naturally, this phenomenon was quick to find its place within the gaming industry. And once again, we chose to embrace innovation and technology, not only to determine its effects and consequences so that we may determine how to best regulate its adoption by the industry, but also to see how we ourselves can use technology to better regulate the industry. Regulation will always be a step behind technological improvements, but acknowledging this and taking on board such updates as early as possible ensures a more holistic regulatory approach. As already highlighted by our Minister, the MGA has recently published its guidelines for the sandbox framework for the acceptance of virtual financial assets and the use of distributed ledger technology within the gaming industry. This followed a number of discussions, meetings, and consultations with the industry, and we can say that there is considerable interest from the gaming operators to form part of this sandbox. The MGA is committed to start accepting applications from interested parties as early as January 19. On a different note, and most importantly, 2018 was also the year in which we chose to direct even more focus on our player protection efforts. Today, more than ever, the player is at the center of all our policies, through the engagement of distinguished behavioral scientists who have studied the effectiveness of the player protection measures we impose on operators by virtue of our rules and regulations, and through the analysis of gathered data, we are working to ensure that regulation is indeed having the desired effects. In addition to this, another major project which the authority embarked upon this year is that of the self-exclusion system for remote gaming operators. Our plan is to have all MGA licensees connected to a single database, thus ensuring that a player who self-excludes with one licensed portal is automatically excluded from all other MGA licensees, be it land-based or remote. We are cognizant of the challenges that such an ambitious project brings about, but we are confident that with the experience acquired through the implementation of the self-exclusion system for land-based, which connects all brick-and-mortar casinos together with all gaming parlors and bingo halls, this project will become a reality. As we speak, a team of MGA officials is working hard to issue a document for public consultation by the beginning of next year. We believe that this project, coupled with the increased regulatory powers given to the authority through the new law and the constant focus on innovation, will continue helping the MGA reach its ultimate goal of a safer, transparent and properly regulated gaming environment for all those who form part of this dynamic industry. And this brings me to my last point. I would like to close off on a more personal note. Throughout 2018, I have been able to experience firsthand the challenges that an entire new legal regime can bring about. And I must admit that there were times when it felt overwhelming or impossible. But as the age-old saying goes, the difference between success and failure is a great team. And at the risk of ending my keynote on a cliché, I would like to take this opportunity to thank all the team at the MGA for constantly looking for ways in which they can improve the organization and its functions. They are the most ambitious group of individuals I have ever had the pleasure of working with, and it is truly an honor to be their CEO. It is also an honor for me to say that you, the industry, and fellow regulators are part of this journey too. We pride ourselves in maintaining open communication and dialogue between all stakeholders, since we strongly believe that it is the only way in which we can achieve all our regulatory objectives. And on this note, I augur you a fruitful and successful conference, and I look forward to hearing about the outcomes of your discussions throughout this week. Thank you.
Thank you, Heathcliff.